Hi guys, Political Posting Mumma, time for an updated video. I'll try and keep this as clear and short and concise as I can, but basically I wanted to speak to you about why I have entered into the marriage debate, something that I was not planning to do when I first posted my first video about safe schools. I didn't realise how connected the two were and why people kept saying they're related, and even when those ads came out, by the ACL, which I'm not connected to the ACL, I'm not connected to those ads, but even once those ads came out, I still was trying to work out how it all kind of fit together. So I'm just going to try and explain to you about the Marriage Act. We all know that there's been a fantastic political marketing around the love is love, marriage equality debate. So none of us want to be bigoted, and none of us want to deny human rights. It's been marketed as a campaign almost like, sometimes people have compared it to racial marriage, which obviously that's disgusting that that biracial marriage was ever an issue, so none of us want to kind of go there. But let me just explain what I know. I have no problem with civil unions, and I do believe in equality. So it's been interesting as I've investigated. In 2013, the Anti-Discrimination Act changed, and that actually meant that gender identity was written into our law. So I've only found this out recently. But that's why we now have gender theory mainstreamed, and people can identify, self-identify as any gender identity that they choose. So back to the Marriage Act. So basically the connection here is that when laws change, things do happen. So we just need to be aware of what we're actually saying yes to if we decide we're going to say yes to changing the Marriage Act. And the reason I'm calling it changing the Marriage Act was because it's been marketed as marriage equality. And I've come to discover political marketing through the safe schools. I didn't even really realise how manipulated I'd been. Safe schools is not safe schools, but it's been marketed as an anti-bullying program very well. So political marketing is something we need to be really aware of. You can still vote yes after I say this. That is absolutely your right. But so is it to say no, because actually people haven't been completely honest with us. So when the Marriage Act changes, it's actually called transgender marriage, really. So I didn't realise, I didn't even really know what that meant. I'm still like, well, isn't that the same thing? Even if someone's turned, changed their gender from boy to girl. But no, what it actually means is that any gender identity, and remember that can be self-identified, and it's endless because you can make up your own gender identity based on how you feel, that is written into the Marriage Act. And what that means for us is gender theory is written into law and gets mainstreamed and continues to be mainstreamed throughout our school system and throughout our cultural system. Terms like mother and father are removed because it becomes discriminatory, and it becomes discriminatory not to teach homosexual sex acts at school, and it becomes discriminatory not to teach gender theory. And as we know, the government haven't been trustworthy with this, and they've taught these things to our children at ages that most of us deem very inappropriate. So when I've connected it, that's how I've connected it. The Marriage Act, which they say love is love. Yeah, love is love. And we all think, don't we? We think of, I do, I think of Modern Family. I think of my gay loved ones. I know a committed couple, someone I went to school with, and they've got a gorgeous little family, and I think of them. And that's what we think of. But actually, it's not about that, because actually by law, there's no inequality. All those laws were changed, so there's no inequality by law. You can have a civil union, and you can even throw yourself a fantastic wedding. So this is actually a bit of a sneaky political campaign to continue to push this ideology and to change our society. So I'm voting no. I feel sad that people once again have been used in this political campaign. I feel sad at the way the Yes Camp have behaved and conducted themselves, and they've shot themselves in the foot. I wouldn't have even looked further into this probably had I not continued to receive the harassment and to see how people who came and spoke out about it were treated. Dr. Pansy Lai, who's had her business attacked and had people try and deregister her in this country. Get Up encouraged that. Dr. Karen Phelps suggested making a formal complaint. So because of the harassment that I felt, I started to look into this a lot more. So I'm in the no camp. I'm going to vote no, because I'm going to put my kids before this push, which is actually from extremists who are trying to trick us about what this is about. I support civil unions. I support people to have a wedding. They can have a gay wedding, and how fantastic that will be. But you're not going to fool us and try and sneak in these disgusting programs and continue to use our children as your political footballs. Okay, so you can say no.